Hey, Danielle.
Hey, Carey.
Hello. All right. So we wanted to talk today. How do you roll out a new tool or update your tech stack and keep things running smoothly?
Yeah, I think what the base of that is really about change management. We're
Mm,
in a time of unprecedented change with all the tools, all the, financial pressures. There's just so much that's happening right now. And as a person in a leadership role, usually you're asking your team to assess it might be how to get AI into your
hmm
stack. It might be about how can we cut some costs and make some more efficiencies in how we operate, but all those things do actually impact more than just ourselves.
Right.
So, as a leader, I'm thinking about how do I need to communicate what I'm asking my team to do to the other leaders in sales, in other operations, in the marketing campaign department, just so they understand what we potentially might be adjusting or making tweaks on that will impact them. So, Carrie, do you have examples of projects you've been working on with some clients or even just yourself?
Yeah, I think what's interesting is like you mentioned the leadership part. So I think we have to consider two different kind of tracks, which are like what should leaders be doing, whether that's like the CMOs or the sales leadership or, directors of marketing, and then how is it impacting the people on the ground and both people, kind of the end users of these new tools. Both groups need to be aware that each of the other groups has different pressures on them and they also have different needs. So as a consultant, a lot of times I'm translating what comes from leadership to helping the end user. And so I think that when leadership is able to provide clarity on what we hope to gain with this new tool, some information on how it's going to positively impact the business and therefore the end user, and how this tool is going to actually hopefully we're using something that's about to make someone's job easier, even if there's a learning process. So I know that in your role, you've been doing a lot with like at the leadership level or acting as a leader within an organization when you've rolled out some really big tech changes. Like, what do you think the things that you've done the best are for the best outcomes as you do this?
You definitely have to make sure you understand all the stakeholders. You have to know that it's not just I'm asking you to stand up. I'll give you example of a product event. You need to bring everyone that will be impacted by that tool to the conversation. So some of the people you might need to talk to would be your field marketers. You're going to need to talk to the email and web teams. You're going to need to talk to the people who are actually managing the data centers, your CRM team for integrations. You're going to need IT involved and information security. So, getting them all on board as soon as or as early in the process as you can to even assess the tools that you're reviewing, if it is for like the example of event management, that's important. And the more that they're through the process with you, they understand the changes or the positive impacts of what's going to happen to them. That's huge. Then it's about documenting as well as then constant communication with all stakeholders who were not part of the project so that they are aware that this change is coming, that they understand what the differences from current state to future state will be. And then a lot of training. Like when I rolled out a new CRM, we went on the road. We went and met with everybody. We had a half day event where we talked about what the new product was. We showed the people and they actually got to work in the product. We even had quizzes and giveaways. Like it was a really fun experience. And then we supported that with an intranet center where there's always learnings, new formats for any type of learner, which included video documentation, and also we're started introducing a standing meeting where people could come in with very specific problems and we could walk through them together. So there's a lot. I basically said bring people along for the ride,
hmm
a lot of documentation, a lot of learning, create a lot of learning materials, and have feedback. Let people share like what's working, what's not, and what they still have challenges understanding.
Yeah, I think you're like all of those are really important. And if you think, and I'll kind of bring it in from like the end user perspective, bringing people along for the ride allows the people who are using the tool to say, hey, this is a process we're doing right now, and this part works great. We don't want to change this, but here's the gap that we're hoping this new product brings. having that open communication upwards and really trusting them. Trust that as the person doing the job, that they have a really vested stake in making sure that they get the right capabilities. And then I think the other part of that feedback loop is so important because you do have to allot for time for there to be bumps along the road. There's going to be, there's always a little bit of technological problem, but you have to understand that like things won't always be implemented perfectly the right way. And so sometimes your end user is going to be the one that flags a problem to you. And so you want to create this very open, trusting environment where you can expect them to like use it, give them parameters on like how far to push it, but then always know where they can come back and talk to you about like, hey, here's what I'm experiencing. Can you help me navigate this?
I think to just like close it out, if you're not seeing any of the things that we are discussing here when you are in the middle of a project change, know that you are empowered probably to do that change management yourself. I think a lot of people in ops feel like they are handed their work and it's time to just execute on the work. And then they get frustrated when people have feedback saying, why did you do this? Or this is not what I expected. So if you're seeing that, like, if it's changing up, a lead scoring, process, if it's changing up or adding a new tech piece to your stack. And again, there's none of these pieces happening. Take the steps to learn and understand change management and go about making sure you're bringing people through the journey with you so that you'll have a better outcome at the end.